U.S. military wiped out Iran's last card in Strait of Hormuz. For months, one nation held a knife to the throat of global oil, a waterway that carries a fifth of the world's energy, threatened by mines hidden beneath the surface. But in the last 24 hours, something changed. Machines went where no soldier could, searching, hunting, and erasing. And when it was over, Iran's strongest card was gone. What happens now but to a regime that just lost its only leverage? Stay with us, because what comes next may decide the fate of the entire region. Welcome back, everyone, to The Siege War, the channel where we break down the world's most critical conflicts, one briefing at a time. Before we go any further, if you've been with us for a while, you already know how much these updates matter. So here's a small request, the kind you'd make to an old friend who's been sitting with you through every twist of this story. Take just 2 seconds, tap that subscribe button, and stay by our side for what's coming. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us, like keeping a seat saved for someone at the family table. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from today? Which city, which country? We'd love to know who's tracking this story with us. Now, let's get into it. It is August 26th, 2026, and somewhere, 90 feet below the surface of the Strait of Hormuz, a drone shaped like a torpedo is moving, slow, steady, just 2 meters above the seabed, flying a pattern back and forth, like mowing a lawn. Except this lawn is made of mud, darkness, and hidden death. Then, a shape appears. Not a rock, not debris, a mine, planted there by Iran, waiting. For months, this is how it worked. Silent machines searching the ocean floor, one object at a time, looking for the weapons Iran had scattered across one of the most important waterways on Earth. And in the last 24 hours, that search came to an end. The United States Navy announced that the clearing operation is complete. Every mine inside the international shipping lanes of the Strait of Hormuz has been removed or destroyed. No American sailor had to step into that water to make it happen. Let that sink in. An entire minefield cleared without a single person put in harm's way. To understand why this matters, people need to understand the geography. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point. Inside that space, there are shipping lanes, one lane going in, one lane going out, each about 2 miles wide, with a 2-mile buffer separating them. That is the road every oil tanker in the world must travel through. And a fully loaded tanker needs several miles just to stop. There is no room for mistakes, one wrong move, and a ship is gone. So this operation was never about clearing the entire ocean floor. It was about guaranteeing safety inside that narrow corridor, the lifeline of global oil trade. The operation itself began back in April. The U.S. Central Command sent 2 destroyers into the strait. Their job was not to hunt mines directly. Their job was to hold the water, to create space for the real hunters to work. Because the real work was done by machines, helicopters carrying laser systems that could see beneath the waves, robotic boats that could sweep the ocean floor, underwater drones that could search where no human could safely go. Together, they found more than 100 objects hidden beneath the surface, and one by one, they were dealt with. President Trump confirmed the news publicly. He stated that all mines inside international waters had been removed or detonated, and he issued a clear warning. Any ship caught placing new mines in the strait would be destroyed immediately. No warnings, no second chances. He also confirmed something else, that satellites through Space Force are now watching every inch of the strait. Nothing moves without being seen. Now think about what this means for Iran. For months, Iran believed it held a powerful card, a weapon that did not need to be fired. Just the threat of hidden mines was enough to slow down global shipping, to raise fear, to create leverage. But that card is gone now. Iran spent months planting those mines, and it could not even keep track of where they were. American officials confirmed this months ago. Iran did not have the location data, and it did not have the technology to remove them, so it fell on someone else to finish the job. The United States Navy did what Iran could not, cleared the danger, reopened the waterway, and sent a message that could not be missed. This was not a small technical update. This was the collapse of Iran's biggest strategic weapon, without a single shot fired in anger. But one question still remains. If Iran has truly lost its last card, what happens next? This didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen with one big strike. It took months, layers of technology working together. It started in mid-April. U.S. Central Command sent in 2 destroyers, the USS Frankie Peterson, the USS Michael Murphy. Neither one built for mine warfare. Their job was simple. Hold the water, create space for the real hunters to do their work. From there, 3 layers took over. Layer 1, the air. Navy helicopters, the MH-60S Seahawk, carrying something called the Airborne Laser Mine Detection System. Over 800 pounds of equipment, firing pulsed laser light straight into the water. The light hits the surface, sensors read it back, building a full 3D picture of what's hiding underneath. Floating mines, moored mines, all of it. And the helicopter never has to stop moving. It scans while flying, covering huge areas fast. No diver, no boat crew, no danger. Layer 2, the surface, uncrewed vessels, around 38 feet long, built from aluminum, with a payload bay you can swap out. One mission, it carries rescue gear. Next mission, it carries explosives. Next mission, advanced sonar. When it's fitted with towed sonar, it scans the seafloor from every angle, forward-looking. Side scanning, searching for anything that shouldn't be there. When it's fitted differently, it can fake the signature of a massive warship, tricking mines into detonating early, with nothing and no one actually near the blast. Layer 3, underwater. Torpedo-shaped drones, moving in slow, careful patterns, just 2 meters above the seabed, mapping every inch of the ocean floor, catching what the other layers couldn't reach, combined. All 3 layers found something staggering. More than 100 suspicious objects, scattered across the strait. And here's what stands out the most. No American diver approached a live mine. No crew sailed directly into danger, the way sailors once had to. In fact, the Navy already retired the ships built for that kind of work. The last of them, decommissioned just last year. The helicopter once used for towed minesweeping, retired in early 2025. So this operation relied on something different. Machines, talking to each other, sharing data, covering air, surface, and seabed, all at once. No soldier walked into that risk. By the time it was done, the critical shipping lanes were fully verified, clear, safe. The threat Iran spent months building was dismantled by a force it never saw coming and never had a chance to stop. Behind every mine in the Strait of Hormuz, there is a simple truth. Iran built a weapon it could not control, and then it lost track of that weapon completely. The mines were not an accident. Iranian forces placed them on purpose, small boats, scattered drops, across one of the most valuable waterways on Earth. The goal was simple. Mines don't need to explode to work, just their presence is enough. Enough to slow ships down, enough to raise fear, enough to raise costs. For a regime with limited options, it looked like cheap leverage, but leverage only works if you can control it. And that is exactly where the plan fell apart. In June, Iran agreed to something. The Islamabad Memorandum, a promise to remove its own mines. That promise was never kept. By April, American officials were already saying it publicly. Iran did not know where all its mines were. It had lost the coordinates. And even where it did know, it did not have the technology to safely remove them. Think about that for a second. A country plants a weapon across a major global shipping route and then can't even find it again. Then, after the US finished the job, Iran offered something strange, a joint demining framework, help removing mines that were already cleared, offered only after the danger had already passed, offered only after America did it alone. This is bigger than one military failure. It points to something deeper, cracks in the system. The Iranian rial tells the same story. This week, it opened at over $2 million to the dollar, a record low. Back in early March, it was around $500,000. In just months, the currency lost massive value. That means real pain for ordinary Iranians, for the institutions trying to hold things together, and alongside the currency crash, reports of growing unrest inside Iran, cracks that are getting harder to hide. Meanwhile, officials keep making bold statements, promising a seismic response, claiming no oil would leave the region. But oil is leaving, millions of barrels a day, through the southern route. The gap between the words and the water is hard to ignore. Put it all together, and the picture is clear. Iran planted a threat to look strong, lost control of that threat, watched another country clean it up, without needing Iran's help, and now faces growing pressure at home. The mines were supposed to be leverage. Instead, they became proof of how little leverage Iran actually had. What happens next depends on what Iran decides to do, with its biggest card already gone. The minefield is cleared, the leverage is gone. So now, what does Iran actually have left? Officially, Tehran is still talking tough. A senior security official appeared on state television, promised a serious, forceful response, said not a single drop of oil would leave the region, but the numbers say otherwise. Millions of barrels moving through the strait every single day. The gap between the words and the reality keeps getting bigger. That doesn't mean the danger is over. Iran still has options. Fast attack boats, still active, still capable of harassment, still capable of provocation. Iran still has its proxy network too, a way to apply pressure without acting directly. And nothing stops Iran from trying to lay mines again, maybe closer to its own coastline, maybe somewhere harder to watch. But here's the difference now. The clearance operation didn't sweep the entire ocean. It secured the shipping lanes, the parts that actually matter for global trade. Officials have been careful to say that, which means small scattered attempts are still technically possible, but far riskier, far less rewarding. Because now, everything is being watched. President Trump confirmed it directly. Satellite coverage, through Space Force, watching the Strait around the clock, combined with the same drones, boats, and helicopters, that just finished the job once already. Any new attempt would have a much smaller window to succeed. The warning attached to all this was blunt. Any vessel caught placing new mines would be destroyed immediately, no exceptions. The same rule already being applied to other threats in the region, including recent strikes on narco-trafficking vessels nearby. Inside Iran, the pressure isn't just military. It's economic. A currency in free fall, reports of unrest spreading, a population growing frustrated, with a leadership that promised strength but keeps delivering setbacks. Whether that frustration turns into something bigger is still unknown, but the pressure doesn't look like it's easing. For the United States, this operation proved something important. Mine warfare can be done differently now, almost entirely by machines. No personnel put in danger, against an enemy that had months to prepare and still failed to hold its position. That model won't stay limited to one strait. For Iran, the loss is harder to replace. The mines were meant to be insurance, a way to stay relevant without a real fight. That insurance is gone now, removed cleanly, without a single American casualty. What's left for Tehran is a narrow set of choices. Escalate through proxies and risk retaliation. Try mining again, under heavier watch than ever, or accept the truth. The strait is open, the lanes are clear. And the real question isn't whether Iran can threaten global oil anymore. It's what Iran has left to threaten it with at all.